Internet. Hi everyone, we are actually on my channel for once. Oh my god, my channel has content again. Say hi, bae.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so happy that we're on your channel. We're doing stuff.
Yeah, oh. Sorry, I actually didn't mute the tab, so I suck.
Amateurs.
Hmm?
I said amateurs in
I
a
know,
funny
right?
voice.
Yeah, speaking of amateurs, I also had a baby brain moment and named the stream the wrong thing initially. So thank you.
Named it Iron Fist.
I know. It sounds like kissed.
No, it does. And Iron Fist is an actual thing.
I know.
It's just not here. I'm actually making you a thumbnail that's gonna go with like the thumbnails that I made for mine. So it's all
Oh, thank
matchy.
you. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
know it's for the sake of your playlist and it's not for me.
It's well, I mean, also, look, I'm not trying to be insulting, but I don't it's not that I don't trust you to make a
It's
thumbnail right now. It's just that I don't trust you to make a thumbnail right now.
it's
I'm
probably
sorry.
wise. That's
Although it's
probably
hard
very
because in
wise.
order to get the thingy, I have to like do it across her butt. Yeah, fine, whatever. The thumbnail's gonna be an ass. All right, that's fine.
Why
Anyway,
not?
so we're gonna talk about Iron Kiss, which is the third novel in the Mercy Thompson series. Um,
Yes.
and I guess
It's
as
the
always,
it's
we'll
the
just
novel.
yeah, it's the novel. And I guess as always, we'll just talk about we'll start with like what we did like. Or no, we'll start with rating it.
I would give this a 4.789.
See, I would totally be with you. I am okay, it is a that up until the last two chapters.
Oh yeah.
And then it loses me.
Mm,
So
I'm
like
gonna stick with it. I'm sticking with mine.
overall, I'm gonna go down to a 4.5.
Why are
Um,
you being asked if you still have all your fingers?
I don't know. Oh, because of fireworks, sweetie. No, I watch fireworks. I'm not a redneck, honey. No.
Oh, does she sound like a redneck?
Just because I can do the accent doesn't mean I am one. Anyway,
Anything
so
she'll be a Southern Belle. Thank you very much.
again, spoilers. This is the Rape-a-Doodle novel. And okay, here's my thing
Okay.
about the Rape-a-Doodle part
Yeah.
of the novel. I get it, and I get that later because like this is the thing that we have to hear about for literally the next however many books there are. Like it
Yes.
doesn't go away. And you know what? If it was like a normal person and it had just been the rape-a-doodle, fine. But this is a human. This is not a human. This is a coyote shapeshifter who almost dies in every single book. And
Yeah.
there are things that happen to her that are in my opinion, a little bit more traumatic than the rape-a-doodle.
Especially with how it was conducted.
Right.
If it
It's
had been,
not
it's not a violent rape. It's
yeah.
a it's a drink a magic potion and now you think you love me rape.
Which is still rapey,
It is
but
rape, and but
but it's nowhere near as traumatic. She didn't almost die. Like there I'm not saying that rape isn't traumatic. I'm just saying that in this universe things happen to her.
yeah, and there's other times where she loses her own sense of self will and almost dies at the same time.
And I
So
would think that that would be a bigger deal.
yeah.
Um
And
but
Did you? Speaking of the rape thing, did you catch the
I
roadhead
did.
part this time?
I did. I didn't, I caught it the first time, but when you talked about, honestly, I forgot. I knew she got raped because they don't let you fucking forget it. But I forgot that it was like Tim who did it. So when you were like, he unbuttoned his pants, I was like, I don't think Adam does that in this book. And then I remembered that, yeah, she tries to give him a blowjob on the way to the rape site. And then he's like, no, stop, I'm driving.
But it just glosses over it. Like, I had to re-listen to it the first time to be like, did that just happen?
Like, because that's also not an aspect of the rape that gets caught on. The rape gets filmed or whatever. She has security cameras, not because there was like a film crew. Anyhow.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
Oh,
but the blowjob. So I'm wondering because like Adam knows about the whole thing. I'm like, did she tell him that she sucked a dick? Also, can we just for a second, Ben's speech.
It goes on a bit long.
A bit?
A lot.
A lot long. Maybe it's not as bad if you're reading it, but when you're listening to it, I'm just like, my spine is going to self-dead if this doesn't end soon. The second time around, I actually skipped over it because I was like, I don't even want to hear this. I just don't care.
Yeah, and that scene, though, makes me not like how long it takes for her to get Ben to, like, book 10 Ben. Because that scene, Ben is the only one that understands how she's feeling. He's the only one that can see how she's feeling. And he sounded horrified that she was so ashamed of herself for what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the next book, for it to just go straight to Ben's a misogynist again. Like, it's like, really? Really? We had something good going here.
Well, and I started listening to Bone Cross because I was hoping that we could do that in the next couple of days too. Because once we get done with like Bone Crossed and Silverborn, I won't have to reread River Marked, and I probably won't have to reread the rest of them because it's been close enough together.
Yeah.
I might re-listen to them. I'm not re-listening to River Marked. I might re-listen to the other ones.
Yeah, River Marked was... I'm going to have to re-listen to it because I forget half of it. I remember she meets Coyote and they fight a river thing.
Just to jump ahead a little bit, for me, Frostburned, Nightbroken, and Fire Touched all ran together.
Kinda, yeah.
I don't know why, but they did. Also, just for timeline purposes, Mooncalled happens in November over Thanksgiving week. Bloodbound happens
the following June.
The following like early summer. Iron Kist happens a month later and takes about a month. And Bone Cross, which is the next book, takes place directly at the tail end of Iron Kist.
Yeah.
So, just for an idea of the timeline of events. Okay, so there aren't really any new characters that we have to talk about.
Except for Tim.
Tim's a Tim.
Rape-a-doodle.
Yeah, he's the rapey guy. But explaining Tim is going to make more sense if we explain it in context or talk about it in context, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, give me a second. Sorry, my thing just went really weird and started playing various noises.
Oh, bad thing.
Computer, there we go. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
So I guess we can just go ahead and get into the plot because it's not like Mooncalled where we have to like go over all the characters. What?
Oh, I'm just laughing at the thumbnail.
I know, right? I was like, it's gonna be her butt because there's.
You know what? Meh. We'll have a butt thumbnail.
They shouldn't have put it next to her butt. That's all I can say. So, Iron Kissed. Starts off, she's at Warren and Kyle's house, and they're watching a vampire movie, and she's all, the vampires tried to kill me last time, and I'm scared. And you're like, all right.
The vampire panic attacks. I don't understand them.
Like, you killed them. Calm down. Fuck's sake.
I can understand her having maybe some, like, being worried, but she actually has, like, mini panic attacks.
Yeah, I'm just like, I feel like if it was more like, ew, vampires, it's a little too close to home right now, but, like, fucking Mercy needs some Xanax. Like, a lot of Xanax. Yeah.
She's got PTSD at the thought of the vampires finding out that she killed one of them.
And I feel like this comes from an author who has never actually experienced trauma.
Quite possibly.
Because, like, okay, here's the thing. I understand that cutting a vampire's head off and burning him might leave you with some ugh, but at the same time, you're writing an urban fantasy novel. Tone it down, okay? Okay. Or give her some Xanax. He needs Xanax. Okay. I'm sorry, but she does. She needs to talk to somebody so that they can give her drugs.
She does.
So yeah. So she's talking with Kyle goes to get popcorn, and the author has decided that she's had enough with her own bullshit she's had enough of her own bullshit love triangle. So Warren's like, you need to make a choice. And what? I feel like that was a pretty good Warren impression. Was it not?
No. I'm sorry, carry on.
Was it okay? But I'm like concerned. Was that a good or a bad Warren impression?
No, it sounded like it was a half Western, half old lady, like type of voice.
My voice is not quite as deep as hers, and that's a problem. Yeah, but Warren's all like, "You need to choose," and she's like, "Oh, but I'm scared of Adam for reasons." Or something.
Was it
she's scared of Adam because she wanted to fuck him, and she was like, clearly it's mind control. And I'm like, maybe it's smooch control. Just a thought.
You can't actually, while I'm thinking of it, I just need to say this, otherwise I will forget. So when Sam gets up on stage, she goes on about how attractive Sam is. But literally every other time she mentions Sam's appearance, it's Sam's not an attractive man.
She does like this weird thing where she's like, Sam's not like attractive, but he's like attractive to me because I like him.
Yeah, she often describes his attractiveness as just his charisma and his presence and everything. But when she's actually talking about him on stage, she's saying that he's attractive, and I'm like, no, because like literally 20 minutes later, she's saying that Sam's not attractive, and I'm thinking, can you make your fucking mind up about whether or not Sam is attractive? Please. Do I want to fuck Sam or do I not want to fuck Sam? It's not that difficult.
Okay, another thing that I don't like is when, this is just a book thing in general, is when you have a protagonist and they're like, she's kind of frumpy looking, and she's married to a Greek god. She literally describes Adam God's worth thing. Adam would be one.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but I'm
Mercy's
not that
ugly.
Great. Yeah. It's
like quit pairing an ugly woman with a hot dude. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I mean, at least they've made her personality something that you can imagine an attractive guy going for.
Yeah, and they say that she doesn't have like an awful body, which is helpful.
And she's not ugly. I think she's just like, she's perfectly average.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know. It's just there's like average, and then she's like, he's a Greek god, and you're like, eh, I just don't feel like they should be a thing. So anyway, back to Iron Kiss. So they have this moment where Warren's like, you need to choose, and she's like, but I'm scared because I want to fuck Adam, and he's like, you need to choose Adam or Samuel, and she's like, yeah. Anyway,
But
and
I
then
don't want.
yeah, and then Z's like I'm not gonna do Z's accent.
Can you please try and do Z's accent?
It's actually like I'd have to listen to it for a minute. Z is like mercy. Like, I'd have to listen to it.
He sounds. His
He's very
accent,
German.
for those that haven't listened to the audiobook, say Augustus Glump in your head and imagine what that accent is. It's not just German. It's like Augustus Glump German accent.
Yeah.
It's literally exactly how the name sounds. Sorry, carry on.
He's like there are murders. Like, and also like, I have to do it with his fucking speech pattern, and I just don't have it in my head right now. I'm sorry. He's like, mercy, there are murders. Come sniff stuff, and so she's like, so
because she owes the Fae a debt now.
Oh right, yeah, because she used her thingies in the last book twice, and now she's got a stuff. So this would make more sense if you'd read the book. I'm just saying, like, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, now she's got a stuff, great. Like, if you've read the book, you know what I mean. you know what I mean. So now she's got to go do stuff. So she goes and sniffs, and then she's like, ooh, there's a forest in the backyard. And then she's like, ooh.
Should we say why she was sniffing?
Oh, because there are, like, dead Fae on the reservation.
Okay.
And so like when she gets to the gate of this reservation, there's like a guard who's like, I'm a grumpy guard, and she's like, he's a grumpy guard. And then
for fuck's sake.
What? What did I do?
I love you.
I love you too, but I don't know what I did. That's exactly what happens.
So carry on.
This is why I'm an underwriter when I'm like writing my own stuff, because I forget to like make shit happen. I'm just like, this is what happened. Anyway. So they get into like the reservation, and she's sniffing around. She's sniffing in one dead guy's house, and she's like, ooh, a forest. And then she sniffs around another dead guy's house, and she's like, oh, a beach? What? And then there's like this Fae who's a gray lord, dun dun dun, and he's like, why are you in Underhill? And she's like, what's an Underhill? And then Z's like, something Wiebling, and then like carries her back. Carries her back. Underhill, by the way, is like the Fae realm, and Underhill ends up being like a person later. They don't really fucking explain it. I wish they would, but she doesn't, and she gets away with not explaining it by being like, but Mercy doesn't know. And I'm like, but I don't get it. Okay.
Anyway.
And hours in Underhill pass funkily. So it's been like 6 hours, and she's like, I must have been staring at the ocean for a long time. And it's like, no, time is just screwy. And that's another thing now that I think about it that bothers me, because in Silverborn, she goes and she's gone for a month. And then
that wasn't Underhill though.
Yeah, but she goes back to Underhill and Fire Touched,
Yeah.
and and she says that she's gotten like a couple hours back of the month that she lost.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but you also lost another couple of hours.
Maybe
So
she didn't quite remember the fact that she lost a couple
yeah,
of
maybe she just
hours.
doesn't get it. I don't know.
Maybe she just forgot. A lot happens to her. For
That's
someone
true.
who had nothing happen to her for, 30 years, all of a sudden, fuck, her early 30s, my God.
Bananas. I honestly think it would have made a little bit more sense if she was a teensy bit younger.
It would make the Adam and her thing work better in my head because, she's in her 30s and she didn't know that she has a potential to not age. Which means that she looks like she's in her 30s, and Adam looks like he's in his early 20s. And how
Which
does no
also
one pick up
bothers
on
me.
that? How does
I
no one
don't
look at
know.
Adam and
Like,
go,
because in my head, Adam also looks like he's in his 30s because
I
that
know?
makes sense.
But then they mention it multiple times. It's like he's got a 15, 16, 17-year-old daughter by the end of the 10th book. How did they not look at him and her and go, wow, he looks like he's 6 years older than you?
I don't know. Like I said, in my head, Adam is one taller than 5'10",
Yeah.
because I'm like, I don't like that he's 5'10". It's too freaking short, so he's taller. And he's also looks like an adult. Like Bran, I can get behind Bran looking really young.
Especially because, like, she adds, like, these really weird little quirks that Bran does. Like, rocking on his chair and shit.
I like it, though.
I know.
Like, I feel like Bran could be played by, like, the kid who's playing Spider-Man right now. And if he did, like,
Yes.
a really good job, it would work.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you couldn't have Adam played by, like, a young person. Because, like, Adam's just, like, he's not, that doesn't make sense.
No.
No,
I
I like the weird quirks that she has. Anyway, so fuck, where was I?
She comes out of Underhill.
She comes out of Underhill, and he's like, "Liebling, do you think you can continue?" And she's like, and she just kind of like wags her tail or some shit. What? Is it bad or is it like
You
sounds
haven't
like
watched
her?
Labyrinth yet, have you?
What?
You haven't watched Labyrinth yet, have you?
I haven't.
You sounded like Hoggle,
I don't
and that's all I'm gonna leave it at. Watch Labyrinth, listen to Hoggle, and that's what you just sounded like.
Okay.
Just actually, you need to see what Hoggle looks like now. It's hilarious.
Okay. No, in my head, though, that's a little bit what Z looks like.
I know, that's why I said you need to look at what he looks like.
Okay. Anyway, so she gets out of Underhill. She figures out that O'Donnell, who is Grumpy Guard, Grumpy Guard sounds like a product. I don't know if it's like a guard that's grumpy or guarding you from grumpy people, but either way, anywho, so she's like, Grumpy Guard did the deadles, and he's like, thank you, Liebling. We're like, debt is paid, and she's like, I acknowledge that my debt is paid, and he's like, good for you, go away. So she goes away. She fucks right off. And then they go to kill O'Donnell, and then somebody, dun dun dun, got there first, but the body is still warm, and like he's still spurting blood because O'Donnell's head has just been ripped off and broke his collarbones and everything. And Z is like, Uncle Mike hides. So Uncle Mike is the Irish fae from the bar Uncle Mike's. Anyway, so Uncle Mike hides and Z doesn't, for whatever reason. I don't think he can.
I think part of it was he didn't his glamour isn't as good as Mike's, and B, he didn't want them looking around even more and finding Mike because Mike had all of the stolen possessions that they had found.
Okay. So then they take Z in, and then it's like, oh, shit-a-doodle, Z's been charged with murder.
But we don't know any of this yet because we're at a concert.
Oh, right. Yeah, we go to a concert. Sam's hot. We meet Tim, who's like, oh my god, you're not pronouncing it correctly. I like Lord of the Rings. Then she gets it. That's what he does.
So
I like, you make me feel like I'm funnier than I probably actually am because you laugh at all my stupid jokes. Honestly, if you ever want to know like what my outlines look like, it's basically this. Like I turn like simplified thoughts and turn it into a book, and like I guess I can do it in reverse. So he's like, God, you're not pronouncing it right. And Sam's like super good natured about it. But either way. And then she gets a call and it's like, holy shit sticks, Z's in charge with murder. And she's like, oh my fuck-a-doodle. So, oh, also, while Sam was on stage, he was smiling at Mercy, but Adam was behind him. So there was like a pissing contest. Anyway. And so then she's like, we got to go get a lawyer. And Gay Kyle's like, oh my God, I have a lawyer. And and then she can't take Adam or Samuel because the other one will be upset. So she just takes
Kyle.
She just takes Kyle. And
yeah, it's like, okay, do I take dominant wolf A or dominant wolf B? Neither. We'll take the gay human.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they don't take the gay wolf.
I know, right?
But whatever. So they get there, and it's like, hey, here's this woman who hates the Fae. She's in a Fae hate group, and she's going to defend you. And she's like, Miss Thompson, I'm going to need to know all the information if I'm going to help defend your friend. And Mercy's like,
wait,
and strips.
You just went robot-y, at least on my end.
Oh. Okay, I'll repeat it. So she just goes, Miss Thompson, if I'm going to help your friend, I'm going to need to know all the information. And so then Mercy's like, puts on disco music and gets a stripper pole out of her pocket and strips and turns into a coyote. And she's like, Arr, and the lady's like, oh my. And and Kyle's like, okay, let's calm the heck down. Like, I know I didn't warn you, and like, I probably should have. But yeah, she can turn into a coyote. And so then she's like, I'm a coyote, and they wanted me to sniff stuff. And she like tells her, gives her the rundown. And she's like, oh my. And so then it kind of just leaves it there. And then Z calls her at some point and is like,
no, Z doesn't. Uncle Mike calls her. Or
she calls Uncle Mike. Calls her. Somebody calls her. I don't fucking know. But
someone
like
calls someone.
Someone calls Mercy and is like, Z be mad at your ass and also pay up, motherfucker.
That was also the lawyer.
Yeah, that's the lawyer. So she didn't say it like that.
The lawyer is now a black gangster.
Okay, I will say, what is her name's not Naomi, it's Namani.
Oh. Who?
It's Namani.
The lawyer?
Namani. The crow.
Oh, the crow.
Because I didn't read this, I don't.
Mercy Thompson. Namani?
Yeah.
Yeah.
AKA Dr. Stacey Baba Yaga.
Which one's Baba Yaga again?
She was Baba Yaga.
Which one's Baba
No,
Yaga
I'm
again?
so confused. I don't know, because if you would asked me, I would have said that's when she first shows up.
Yeah, because I can remember Baba Yaga being in a store and they're like, oh, it's just Baba Yaga. And I'm like, who the fuck's Baba Yaga?
She doesn't show up apparently till Bone Crossed, and that's why I was so confused, because I thought that Blind Crow Lady was Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga is a Russian Slavic fae.
Yeah.
She something to do with an oak. She speaks Russian.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I do.
Sorry, go.
But the Carrion Crow is a gray lord. Yeah, Namani. Okay, so Namani and Baba Yaga are different people, apparently.
Yes.
And in my head, they were the same person. So she, like, okay, somehow she ends up searching O'Donnell's house because, because she's like, because for whatever fucked up reason, she asks the lawyer if she could get into the murder victim's house. Like, the murder victim that her friend supposedly killed. And the lawyer just doesn't go, you're a fucking idiot. No, obviously. And Mercy is a retard for asking the question in the first place, because why would they just, that's so stupid. Anyway.
I think actually, because this is just from TV that I've seen this happen. So I could be wrong because it's TV. But I have seen the legal, like the defense legal team thingy go to the crime scene.
But Mercy's not part of, like, the legal team.
But she could be consulting for them or something. I don't know.
It would be a conflict of interest, and they would, like,
I know.
they would throw the case out. I'm just saying. So she's like, can I see the crime scene and sniff it? And the lawyer's like, no, you may not see the crime scene and sniff it. And she's like, darn. So she goes anyway, because honestly, if she was going to go anyway, why the fuck she asked? But either way, she goes, she sniffs a doodle, and we get introduced to probably, it's the most convenient plot tool. It's also one of my favorite. We get introduced to the walking stick.
I love the walking stick.
I do too. The walking stick in and of itself is a major character. And
do you have like a personality for it in your head?
Yeah, I do. I do. It like has a whole.
See it as a Saint Bernard.
As being what?
Like a Saint Bernard. Just like a really like loyal puppy that just wants to follow her around.
Yeah, but I also have it as like a sassy loyal puppy.
Actually, with where it shows up in various spots, it's either really stupid or really sassy.
And yeah, so the walking stick is like honestly, it's a character. And we get introduced to the walking stick, and like, not to spoil everything, but I am going to. The next rest of the books, all the major plots are solved via walking stick. For like the next 6 books.
And I'm so disappointed that you never gave it a nickname.
Me too. And then I'm really sad that does it come back in the 10th book?
It's not in the 10th book, I don't think.
Because like it dies in the 9th book, and I honestly was really broken up about that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's in the 10th.
Not the walking stick. So the walking stick is like a thing. And it's and you see it, and the Carrion Crow Namani pops up and is like, ah, and like it's a crow sound and takes it away. I'm sorry.
See, this is why Monkey doesn't like streaming with the two of us together. Because we're just like this.
Yeah, so she grabs it, takes it away. And so then she gets home, and Uncle Mike is like, what have you been up to, girl? And she's like, nothing. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, I don't know. And then Sam's like, yeah, what's going on, Mercy? And she's like, well, I've been sniffing around, and then there was and a walking stick, and why do I have the walking stick? Or at some point, and then at some point, Uncle Mike is like just put it on the side of your trailer. Somebody will come and get it for you.
Yeah, I don't think we ever established Mercy lives on acreage inside a trailer. In a not even a bit. How the single?
It's a single. It's not even a double wide trailer, and I don't know how she has 3 bedrooms in a single wide trailer. Must be tiny as shit bedrooms.
Oh wait, I'm having a look, and they can come pretty long.
Okay, that must be it.
But still, why
Yeah,
the fuck would you live in a trailer?
She's a VW mechanic. I mean, which
I
is
know, but she can afford to buy acreage. She can afford to buy a house.
Like, why not just be a mechanic, and then maybe you can afford a shack instead of a trailer?
I mean, carry on.
Anywho, so then she's like having a bad day. She's feeling sorry for herself. And then Sam's like, you know what? We're gonna go. I don't know why she uses such a girly voice for Sam, but she does. Probably because he's a little bitch and I hate him. And he's like, we're gonna go out for pizza and fun. And he takes her, sorry, to like this crowded ass pizza restaurant with singing.
Oh, and by this stage, I can't remember who she spoke to, but by this stage, she's decided she doesn't want to be with Sam.
Oh, right, because Honey was like, you need to do something about this. It's
because Jesse got all beaten up and shit.
Somebody punched Jesse in the face, and so everybody's like, somebody punched Jesse in the face. And she's like trying to wash off Jesse, and then Honey comes in and she's like, you need to do something about this Adam and Samuel situation. And then that's the voice she uses for Honey. It's not my fault.
I know. It's not your fault.
I don't know why she uses that voice for Honey, but she does.
I don't know. Maybe to make her appear a bit more soft-spoken as the submissive's wife, who is dominant.
But
I don't know.
Anyway, so she's like, I don't want to fuck Samuel, but I also don't want to lose him. So they go to the pizza place. And by the way, if this were me and you were to take me to a crowded as fuck pizza place with singing, I would smack you if I've had a long day.
Oh, same. Bitch, I would be coming into your room saying, here, have some ice cream. I'll talk to you when you're happy. Bye.
I mean, you could bring me some good pizza. That would be fine with me. But, like, taking me to a crowded place with singing?
Yeah, like this place is crowded to the point where they have to share a table.
With Austin Summers and Tim Milanovich. And Tim Milanovich is the guy who was like, oh my god, Sam, you didn't pronounce things correctly. Lord of the Rings, Arthurian tales.
And Austin is the brother of one of the Jesse Vader opera.
Sorry. Yeah, Austin, like you said, is the voice. Is the voice. Good lord, is the guy who is the brother of the dude who's like to Jesse. And
she also recognizes their sense from Dead Body House.
Yeah, from O'Donnell's house, who, if you remember, is Grumpy Guard. So she like talks to Tim, and Tim is one of those little beta fucky faggots who, like, the second that a woman is like, hi, could you please pass me a napkin? He's like, she wants me. So she's just having a conversation with him about Arthurian tales.
I do think she was actually accidentally flirting, because even Sam came over and he's like, bitch, you need some cold water or something, because you're going a bit too far right now.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he should know that he's ugly. So what?
Ugly people don't get flirted with.
It's true. Even like if you're ugly, even if you think it's happening, if she doesn't have Down syndrome and braces, trust me, it's not actually happening. Unless you're rich, then it is.
Well, he is, but she doesn't know that yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, like she has to know about it first, so you should have known. That's the whole point.
Carry on.
Sorry. Okay, so Timmy, and they like argue, and then Tim is like, "You should." Tim is like, so Lawyer is part of a more organized upscale hate group. Timmy and Austin are part of a college fae hate group. So Timmy's like, "You should come to one of our meetings." And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "No, it would be fun." And she's like, "Okay." Oh, and then at some point Samuel walks up to her and like makes out with her, like full on.
Yeah, that was to get her to stop flirting with him.
Yeah,
what
but
else? Yeah,
was a bit much.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time someone that I wasn't dating was like, oh, the guy that she like that the other guy that she likes won't like this, so I'll go make out with her to stop her from flirting. Like it doesn't really happen that way.
What is happening in the chat? Go die.
What is that?
I don't know. Somebody being Spanish. We are trying to talk about a book. You rude ass motherfucker. So.
Wait, Gunny's 3 rules to live a long life. You should be shooting, moving, or reloading. If you're not doing one of them, you're nothing but a fucking target. Not in Australia. Just saying.
We're trying to talk about a book.
There's nothing political about this, for fuck's sake.
Like, and also I'm just sad because we're not going to see Honey again for another 3 books. If we could just have a moment of silence for the fact that Honey is not in. Is she in book 10 a lot?
Yes, she is. She's one of the main characters in book 10.
Thank God, because I love her. So, am I still going to love her by the end of book 10?
You might like her more.
Okay, good. Because like I said last time, Honey is my favorite character. I adore her. And, like, I don't know. I love Honey.
Ben's not really in book 10, but what he is in book 10 for, I like it.
So,
as well. So those 2 are probably my 2 favorite, but by the end.
I like Ben and also real quick, this is just a weird, I'm sorry that this is so discombobulated, but this is also just us talking about a book. It's not like a structured video, so you get what you get. In book 4, Bone Cross, because I'm starting to listen to it so that hopefully, I don't know, maybe in the next day or so we can talk about it.
Yep.
She says that Daryl doesn't like her, and I'm like, bitch, since when? Daryl has never like shown a specific liking for you.
Yeah,
but he's also never been like, ugh, coyote.
I think though he's always been just very civil.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe part of my problem is that I've read so many, like every book except book 10.
Yeah. Book 10 is a really different structure as well, by the way.
Is it good?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like parts of it, but then there's also just bits where I'm just like, oh really? And I don't know how much of that is the structure and how much of that is the story.
I'm just gonna get you to tell me about it off stream. But anyway, so let's get back to Iron Kist.
Yes.
So the next thing happens when she actually goes to the Bright Future meeting, which is the mini Fae hate group.
Yeah.
And she goes and she sniffs everybody and she's like, seems okay. Except for this one guy who
Who is
suspiciously
Faye?
smells like a fae. And the fae's like, hello, I am not fae, but I'm fae. And she's like, weird. So
I was actually kind of glad when we got to him because he gets referenced in a later book. I can't remember which one, and they're like, "Oh, the pedophile Faye," and I'm like, and when that they were talking about, I'm like, "Who the fuck are they talking about?" And then yeah, it's this one.
pedophile fae?
I swear they refer to him as a pedophile Faye because he eats children.
But like that's not a pedophile
I
fae.
know,
That's
but
like
I swear they refer to him as a pedophile Faye though.
wouldn't that be like a cannibal? No, it's not cannibalism because he's fae and they're human. He eats kids is the point.
Well, maybe he eats them before he eats them, if you catch my drift.
I don't know, maybe. Anyway, so she meets this fae and then she's walking out and Tim's like, would you like to come to dinner? And she's like, no. He's like,
come on.
It's not a date. I just got out of a thing. And also, sorry, after Pizza Place, there's like a revelation that Sam and Mercy have where they're like, we don't want to fuck each other. All right, cool.
No. They want to fuck each other, but they don't want to mate with each other.
Right. Yeah, okay. You're right.
And then Sam's like, I'm going to go tell Adam. And he runs away and tells Adam.
And she's like, can you not? And he's like, no. So he goes and tells Adam. And so she goes to this bright future meeting and she meets all these people and she's like, I don't think anybody here could have done it. And so then she like drives home. Oh, right. And then Tim's like, sorry, I'm like so all over the place. So done with the meeting, she's in the driveway in her car. And Tim is like,
he sees the walking stick and then asks her to dinner.
And then asks her to dinner. And then he's like, we should dinner. And she's like, no. And he's like, no, but like, seriously, we should go to dinner at 7:30 in my place. All right, bye. And he shuts the door in her face. And then she's like, did I just accept a date? And it's like, yeah, you dumb bitch. Get out and go, no, I have the flu tomorrow. Like, that's all you had to do. But you didn't because you're stupid. Oh, that's like the one dumb move because she frets over hurting his feelings. I'm like, just say that you have the flu forever, bye, and just don't talk to him.
Yeah, but we know why as well. Because I will say as well, she's oddly interested in this dirty old ring that he's wearing.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
But there's just smarter ways that she could have done it, I guess.
Yes, but there's reasons.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also like if you don't want to.
It doesn't serve the plot, okay? It doesn't serve the plot for her to say no.
Her having a brain doesn't make the plot go forward. Anyway, she could have just brought like.
How else will she get raped if she says no? Okay.
Which is like, I'm sorry, there are just other ways to wrap up this plot without what happens happening.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Either way. So she like drives home and then she's like, there is a Porsche following me and that's weird. So she does a bunch of like swerving and shit trying to get it like away from him, away from her. And then she's like, oh good, it's gone. And then it's back and she's like, ah! So she drives down a road and she's like, I'm gonna go the long way. And then her phone starts like spitting up water and then her car stops and then she's like, oh shit. So she gets out of the car and for whatever the fuck reason starts talking to the bastard. I'm like, just run.
That's right, yeah.
Run. Just like turn into a coyote and go places.
And she's like, the carrion crow promise. Oh, because she's spoken to the carrion crow now.
Oh, yeah, and the carrion crow was like, I don't want to kill you, but I will if you become inconvenient. And she was like, okay, I'll be as inconvenient as possible. So there was a death warrant, and then there wasn't a death warrant. So there's no longer a death warrant.
Yeah.
But Pedophile is hungry, so... He's like, nom nom, motherfucker. So she like stands there like a doof. And then when he starts to turn into like a massive seaweed horse, she's like, oh, maybe I should run now. And it's like, yeah, no shit. So she runs.
She does a run to
and
Adam. She does a run to Adam's.
Well, real quick, she trips over a bra first.
That's right.
And then she runs to Adam's. And she's like, then she shifts back to human. She's like, Adam, trouble on the way, is what she says. And I would have said, Adam, fucking they people. But that's just me.
Adam, I pissed off the pedo fae.
Yeah, right. Like, Adam, there's a toothy horse coming this way. Like, there are other ways to phrase it. I don't. Honestly, I think the reason why it bothers me is because of the way that the narrator read it. There are just some lines, and I'm like, ugh, why'd you have to say it like that? Like, trouble on the way. It's like, what does that even mean?
That's definitely not the narrator's fault.
No, it's not her fault. It's just I don't
Patricia's.
like the line. I don't like the line, Patty. Why'd you make it that line? Yeah, I call her Patty. It's like I know her. Anyway, so she's like, because like, I know that she's a fucking feminist because boy, does she not let you forget it. And also rape. She really likes rape. And it's weird.
Yeah, she touches on rape a lot, doesn't she?
She without its consent. But anywho. So she's like, trouble on the way. And then they're all like, wolfie time. And so they're all wolfing out. And they're like, we're going to, and so they go,
and then Ben jumps out a window.
And then Ben jumps out a window and dumps glass all over Mercy. And Mercy's like naked because she just changed back into human from Coyote. And
now she decides to tell them it's a fae. That's quick.
Because like, why wouldn't you be like, Adam, fae chasing me? That would make so much more sense than trouble on the way. It's just some editor should have been like, no, say this out loud. It sounds stupid. Anyway, it's like little things like that just stick out in my brain as dumb. Sorry. Moving on. So then she's like, Peter, we need to stab it with an iron thing because it's a fae. And then she's like,
Peter is Honey's husband.
Oh no, a toothy horse. Yeah, that's what she should have said. Thank you, pumpkins are a berry. Oh no, a toothy horse. Yeah, no, that's exactly what should have been said. Did I say that? I don't know if I came up with that or if they did.
Either way,
I might be giving you credit for something that I said. Sorry. So because like she's not part of the pack, I think it's Bone Cross where she becomes part of the pack, and the only reason why I'm kind of sure of that is because the start of Silverborn, she like tries to crush a child with a bowling ball. If you remember.
Oh, that's
so I'm pretty sure it's the next book that she actually becomes a pack member. But anyway.
What's the plot of the next one again?
I don't even fucking remember. They go to Spokane or Spokane if you're Scribe.
He needs to learn how to pronounce things really badly.
I know. But it's funny because he also lives like on the West Coast. Do you think he would know how to pronounce a city in Washington?
I live in Australia and I know how to pronounce Spokane. Anyway, it is the next one because he does it to save her from a Bondi thingy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that one. Oh, okay. I'm timing you out. That's weird.
That's really weird. Quit being weird to Bay. What's wrong with you?
I'm a week and a half or so away from my due date of having someone else's baby, so no. Sorry. Done.
Yeah, she's a week away from having my baby. I'm just saying, like, we met and then like 2 weeks later she was pregnant, so it's justified. Just saying. Which is actually true, which is what's funny. Because the timing worked out in a very interesting way. Anyway, so Yeah, she's like naked with glass all over her, like dragging blood through the house and all that kind of stuff. And
Jesse's like, oh no, what happened to you, Ben?
and she's like, ouchie pouchy. And Jesse's like, let's get you cleaned up. And then like Adam is like super fussy with her because he's like, I'm gonna clean you up, damn it. And
Oh wait, because they scare Pedophile away, and Adam almost does a dead in the river because he can't swim, and then he
because
gets
for some
rescued.
reason werewolves are like chimpanzees. They're too dense to float.
They can't
And
paddle.
I just want to say, okay,
Is that true about chimpanzees?
I don't know.
I'm googling it now.
But like people can swim with weight on them.
Yeah, you can. My nan can't float to save her life, but she can
They
swim.
can swim. So it's weird because like they can't float, but also if you had a 20-pound weight on you that made you like not buoyant in the water, you would still be able to swim because you have
There is
muscles.
a video. There's a video of a chimp swimming. So,
Patty, you fail.
yes.
Because they're like, shoot, they're too dense. I'm like, muscles make it so that you can swim, you weirdo. Anyway. So yeah, he almost does it dead. Peter gets him out, and then he's like, I'm gonna take care of you now. And
How does
so
Peter get
she
him
lets
out?
him. I don't know. She just like he just like walks in and like is like, come here, Wolfie Poo, and is like, all right, let's get out of the water. I guess. I don't know. I think that's what happened. She doesn't describe it happening.
I know, because I know that they can't swim in human form either.
For whatever stupid reason.
I don't know. Because they're strong, okay?
Also, I hate, this is jumping ahead 2 books, but I hate Silverborn because the whole time Samuel like wants to kill himself, and part of the subplot of that book is just like getting Sam to not self-dead, and I'm like, at this point I'm better off without him. Me as the reader, I'm better off without him.
And
anyway,
I think that I'll discuss that when we get to that book.
no, but what is it?
I was gonna say that's the first book that really like has the wolf and the man a different storyline.
No, not really.
It kind of they referenced it beforehand, but it's never actually really been that big a deal.
Oh yeah, and then you're right. In that book, it is a big deal. Hey, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Should we mention Aussie VidCon now?
Yes, especially considering you pronounced it right.
Yeah, I don't call it Aussie. That's not, because to me Aussie is autistic. Because that's the derogatory term I use when I'm alone. But no, it's Aussie. So Aussie VidCon next year. We are we're gonna go to VidCon in Oz. So I'm gonna go to the American VidCon and the Australian VidCon. And I mean that, like I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the American one next year, but you know, flights to America aren't cheap, and I will have, 2 Spawn that I will need to take with me, and only one of them can fly free, so okay. And then I don't want to have 2 infants at VidCon. Let's be honest.
So, because like Aussie VidCon is in Melbourne.
Yes. You said it a little bit American, but close enough to not be cringy.
What do you guys say, Melbourne?
Melbourne.
See, the reason why that is though, it's not because it's because like you guys do that with your R's.
No, we say sure.
Huh?
No, we can pronounce ours properly. It's just it's Melbourne or whatever. It just takes too long to say, so it's just Melbourne.
Yeah, but like to me, it just sounds like Melbourne, but in an Australian accent. Anyway,
I hate it when people say Melbourne though. It's just like, ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, but it's like Melbourne is like that's an Australian. That's just me saying Melbourne with an Australian. Anyway, so after all that happens that night, and she's like, "Let me like," he's like, "Let me fluff you with a towel," and then she's like, "I don't want to be fluffed with a towel," and I'm like, "Why not?" He's a Slavic god apparently. Fluffing you with a towel. Get over it.
Yeah, and then she does a wet t-shirt contest.
Which is actually kind of funny. But then the other thing that's really weird is that she basically shows Jessie her tits.
Yeah. Because
Like,
as casual as everyone is with nudity, I'm pretty sure Adam would have an issue with, you know, grown men being like all strippy in front of his pubescent daughter.
Because instead of just saying the shirt is too tight and I don't have a bra, she just shows her that you can see through the shirt. And I'm like, you could have just said.
You could have just said, I look like I'm on spring break right now.
Yeah, like there are ways to say it without being like titties. Like I'm just saying. Because she's like 16 maybe at the time. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's just not the time for that, Mercy. But anyway.
It's never the time to show your love interest daughter your boobs.
Sorry. Oh god. Okay. So then after that we kind of, I don't know what we do for the next day, but the next night she goes to Rapey Guy's house and she drinks.
Adam installs the security system. I don't know if that's the next day or the day before or whatever.
That's Adam, like the very beginning of the book.
That's right.
We totally forgot.
No.
Yeah, we totally forgot.
Yeah, Adam installs a security system because in case she gets deaded. And he gives her 2 passcodes for it. One of them will just lock or unlock the place and turn the alarm off. The other one will send an alarm to Adam's security firm because that's his job and be like, oi, trouble, but like no cops care. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's her birthday. So she goes to Tim's house and then he gives her like this goblet and she drinks out of it and she's like, yum.
And then he tells her to finish eating her pears and she's like, okay. And then she's like, why am I finishing my pears? I don't want to.
And then he just basically confesses to her, which honestly, when I first read the book, I was like, oh. Because she normally sleuthed her way to figuring stuff out. And then this time she just went to dinner. I mean, maybe the author was like, this book is getting a little bit long. Resolution and rape.
Dinner, goblet, pears, confession, rape.
Yeah. Because, which is basically what happens. So we could have had like the next 2 chapters be like sleuthing and figuring stuff out. But no, he just confesses to her. And then he's like, tell me what you think of me. And she's like, I think you're a grody. And he's like, arr. And so it's just like, what? You're just stupid and dorky. And then, so like, that's basically his motivation to rape her, is that he got rejected. And as a dweeb, he should be used to this, but apparently he's not.
And he's got like these, braces that aren't actually braces, they're bracelets that give you like giant strength and shit, which is how and the ring before convinces people to do whatever, and makes you be able to like speak persuasively or whatever, which is what
and makes you like a sweet talker, which honestly, if you're pretty, you don't need that, but he's not pretty, so
yes. And then the goblet, in the context that he was using it in, makes you do what you're told. And he confesses that he made the Jesse Bash's brother guy kill himself that morning.
Yeah.
And then he then he breaks Mercy's arm and says, you're in love with me, and then gropes her and then gets in the car.
And then she blows him. He's like, oh, never mind. This is too distracting. And so then
apparently he's never had a blowjob before because Yeah.
He's not aware that that might be a little distracting. So, so he's like, okay, stop it. So she stops it. So they go to the garage, and then he rapes her, and then she manages to punch in the code to call Adam. I mean, but Adam, like, I think already know. I don't know if that's like what
I don't think he
triggers
would know
him
yet.
to be on the way. So she punches in her birthday.
How long does he take to get there?
Like 2 seconds?
No. They have
No?
to, no, because they have time to go and look in like the garage bay worky area.
Oh,
And then
you're right. She punches in her birthday right away.
yeah.
Get there. That's sly bitch. I didn't notice that. Okay. So it takes him a fuck. So, I mean, maybe Tim doesn't take long to
I know, but I think
know.
it's about 10 minutes before because they go to the garage to find the walking stick. And I think it's probably about 5-10 minutes before the walking stick, goes howdy ho. And then Tim makes her a howdy ho. And then
Sorry. Tim makes her a howdy ho. I can't. I'm using that. That was funny.
And then she kills him mid-sex.
Yeah, and then which is
right.
way worse than my Assassin's Creed story.
Yeah.
That's incredibly insulting. Anyway, so she like stabs him in the eye with the walking stick, and he's like, "Ah, my eye!" And then she's like, "Crowbar, crowbar, crowbar," and then she's like, Psh! In the head, and then and then Adam shows up and okay. So Tim, this is important. Tim is like, after you have me, you're gonna love me forever, and then you're gonna go kill yourself.
I just remember though how he told her he was gonna rape her. He's just like, "You're gonna do me."
that is almost verbatim what he says.
You're gonna do it with me, and it's just like, yeah, this is why you're still a virgin. You don't say to her, even if she's under a spell, you're gonna do it with me.
Sorry. I'm like, this is why your fiance of 3 years is getting married to somebody else.
To her boss.
To her boss. Yeah. Whew. Okay. So basically he said, like, you're gonna kill yourself, nobody will ever love you. And it's, to me, maybe it's a little bit inconsistent, but she manages to fight him off.
Yeah.
Even though she like loves him, but then she doesn't manage to break the rest of it. Which I think that's honestly just so that we can hear the Ben speech later.
Well, I think part of it is because of the reasons given in Ben's speech that, like, she already, part of her feels like she has betrayed Adam in what happened. So the fact that he's said to her, Adam will never love you, I think it's like, it's too close to home for her to actually fight it off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Why did she fight him off if she loves him? Because she's under a spell. And she
doesn't actually love him.
And she's kind of resistant to magic. Like, apparently, like, the guy that he made off himself that morning only had to have 2 sips of the cup. She was having to, like, drain the cup because it magically refills. She was, like, draining the cup like 30 times before she would have sex with him.
Yeah. But like the human, it was like 2 sips and he was like, I'm gonna go kill myself now, bye.
Yeah.
No, she does blow him and she wants to, but he's like, that's distracting, I'm driving, stop. Anyway, so after he's dead, she turns into a coyote and goes and hides. And then Adam gets there, he's in like a weird half wolf form, which I'm glad she doesn't use again because ew.
Yeah.
And rips Tim's body apart.
Yeah.
Which that's the other thing, is that Adam obviously knows that she's been raped.
Like, did they sit there and watch what was happening before? Like, is that why it took them so long to get there?
Maybe, I don't know, but he knows what happened to her. But this is why it makes no sense with Ben's speech, because Ben's speech could have been like, she was raped, right? So like go hang out with her, okay? You heard everything. And that's all it needed to be.
Yeah,
But I
perhaps she
think
has a taste of the guilt, Adam. Just go tell her you still love her, okay? Okay.
yeah, but I think it's kind of dumb because if like he wouldn't have ripped him up, I don't know. But he rips him apart and then it like takes care of her the way that you would assume that somebody like, if your significant other got like brutally raped, that you would do it.
Or gently raped.
Yeah, or gently raped. And so he takes care of her, but then all of a sudden he's like, she hates me. And Ben's like, has to give her an entire speech convincing Adam that she was raped, even though he knows. And like I said, it just shows that she just wanted to have a spiel about rape. And you can tell because it goes on forever. Like, I think in audiobook time, it is genuinely a 5-minute long speech.
Yeah, I think it wanted to just be like, yo, guys, if you get raped, not your fault. You're good. Like, that's what that whole speech was for.
Like, 5 minutes in an audiobook is like 1,000 or so words.
And
I swear to God, that speech is that long. And at one point, Adam's like, get to the point. And I'm like, get to the point 10 minutes ago. Like, so that happens. And then that's pretty much it.
Oh, and then we find out that Ben was diddled as a kid.
Right.
As a result of that speech, because Adam's like, okay, I get it, I understand. And then he like makes a mention about, children aren't at fault either, and like Ben's like, oh, thanks. And then she gets all upset, and then Pedo Faye comes back and is like, no, you can't kill them. And then she does
no sibling, go away.
Yeah, and then she does a stripper-doodle in front of Adam a week later.
Oh yeah, then a week later, Adam's like, so can we fuck forever? And she takes her clothes off. And then it's nothing. And that's how it ends. Like, it might have sound, I don't know, I feel like when we talk about these things, it sounds like we're bashing the book, but that's why I like to start with the rating. I'm like, I like this book.
Yeah, same.
There are things in it that I don't like. The rape part kills me, and it's too much. It's over the top. Ben's speech makes my spine hurt.
I think it's not necessarily the rape itself that I've got an issue with. It's just the fallout for the next 4 books, because now I know it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it is 4 books of she was raped. Hey. Do you remember this one time? I mean, like, yeah, no, I know that, like, almost dying and like in a cage and like you were trapped in Underhill and that was scary. Like, I know that happened, but she was raped.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Calm down, Siri. Sorry.
You have boy Siri.
Yeah, because he calls me evil overlord, and I wanted to say evil overlord in a British accent. So it's like, how can I help you, evil overlord? And I'm like, yes. Oh God. Okay, so I really don't have anything much past that. The pacing of the book is good. I like the story. And
honestly, I really liked this book.
So we were making
the end was a bit.
We're making a list of like them in order, how good they are, and I think we rated it above Moon Called.
Well, you did 4.5 for this one and Moon Called.
Yeah, but overall, the reason why I'm saying it's above Moon Called is because I understand the plot.
Well, just
and
say
I've read Moon Called twice, and I can't. Yeah, it's okay. 4.51, so it's better than Moon Called.
I think this might be one of I can't say definitively that it's my favorite of the Mercy Thompson books, but if not, it's probably one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites too. I think I said to you, Bone Crossed is one of my favorites as well. I enjoy the story, and I enjoy the little boy that's in it.
Yes.
I like it. I like the dynamic she has with him.
Yeah, that's true.
I River Marked.
Uh,
Let me just look at the pictures. Let me look at the. No.
I don't want to do Rivermark. Can we skip it?
No.
God damn.
Silverborn is one of my least favorites. It's one of my least because it's all about fucking Samuel, and I hate Samuel, and I just honestly, if he had died, that would have been funny. Frostburned is different. It goes back to Moon Called in a way because it's an incredibly convoluted plot that I don't get.
Which one's that one again?
That's the one where it starts off where Jesse's like, "Hey, when are you and Dad gonna have a baby?" And then there's stuff from Adam's perspective.
Yeah.
I don't dislike that book. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the plot's confusing. Night Broken, I think when I was reading it, I was like, I think this might be one of my favorites. Yeah. And I think I stand by that. I don't really remember. Fire Touched, I liked.
Yeah, same.
I wasn't like over the moon with it, but I liked it. And I like all these books, which is more than I can say about most books that I read.
Yeah.
I will say that.
I'm very iffy on Rivermarked. Like I struggled with that one. Is it Rivermarked?
I struggled to get it took me over a week to get through it, and most of these books took me a day and a half at most.
Yeah.
I was just like so into them. Even the ones that I wasn't super crazy about. I think Silverborn and Rivermark took me a minute. And then once I got into Frostburned, like the next 3 days, I had the next 3 books done.
Yeah.
So.
The last book as well is probably about a third from Adam's perspective.
That's interesting. I don't mind it, but anyway, you can tell me about.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I think we've decided that the order of like goodest to not goodest. Because they're all good. I will say that. They're all good. Except for like the Silverborn isn't bad.
No, I didn't have a hard time with Silverborn. It was literally just Rivermarked. I can remember like 3 things about that book.
Yeah.
Maybe rereading it, I'll like it more. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll reread it too. Like, I really don't want to. I might reread it on like, because the other ones I haven't been redoing on like double time. I might redo Rivermarked on double time because I actually enjoy them, and when I enjoy it, I don't feel the need to speed it up.
Yeah.
On the actual Audible app, you can actually go 3 times as fast, but you can't understand anything that's happening.
Oh, that's a bit much.
I tried it. It's a lot. It's a lot. So the order right now is Iron Kissed, Moon Called, and Bloodbound.
Yes, that sounds about right.
And I think the lowest, I mean, keep in mind that the lowest rating was for me, and it was 3.8 for Bloodbound.
What did I rate it?
And you rated it more like a 4.
Yeah.
And that's just because I don't like the vampires.
Yeah.
So like the worst book is a good book. And that's what I'll say about that. So anyway, I'm not going to wrap up your stream because it's your stream. And I keep forgetting. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, thank you for streaming with me and breaking my stream virginity for this year, because I haven't streamed on my channel this year.
Have you really not streamed? Oh my god. Okay.
I haven't streamed on my channel since like before Christmas.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And thanks to the 10 viewers. Which, let's be honest,
watching.
I'm quite happy with that number as well, because we get about, it's not too far off what you get on yours for book club. So
Yeah. Well, we also do book club usually at like 7 in the morning. as well.
true. We
My
also
time.
yeah.
So
And also yes, I will just be just saying like I'm going to start putting videos back out soon because I've now not been working anymore because yay and baby.
and what I don't
What
know,
was
like,
that sentence?
do you think that you could do bone cross tomorrow or no?
Oh, I don't have Bobby tomorrow, so quite probably.
Okay. So maybe bone cross tomorrow, same time, my channel,
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
possibly. Okay. So we can do that. Yeah, so bone cross tomorrow, my channel, 4th book in the Mercy Thompson series, and then
And
at
that'll
some
be
point
at
we'll continue.
11:30 Eastern.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
at some point we'll continue with the current series.
Yes, I think after the next stream we need to go back to
Yeah,
because
and
we
you'll have to
wouldn't
give me the next book through completely legal means.
of course.
Right,
Yes, because we are good.
because we are good.
We are good.
All right, guys.
Okay, well, thank you for coming and come and listen to us talk about the next book tomorrow because why not? And you get to hear Bay do all of her voices again. Bye.
Bye.